eyes on the starter as we are just about ready to set this final race underway. And there it is. Green flag is out, and Monsalve and Johnson making hay while the iron is hot. And of course, they're side by side through heading into turn one. Monsalve with the advantage coming off of turn number one, and Johnson actually has that nose out front, but he also has the line going into turn number two. So we'll see if Johnson can poke his way up to the front and kind of leave Monsalve in the dust. Indeed, he gets ahead of Monsalve. So it's Johnson, Monsalve, Selby, 1, 2, and 3. Garrett Wessling hanging tight in fourth with Anna Predescu sitting in fifth place. Through turn number 3, they will come. Now they set themselves up right-hander at turn number 4 in single file for the field so far, as everybody making a little bit of figuring out how their cars are going as they work their way around turn 4, now set up for the downhill turn 5, up through turn 6. Something to watch here when we get back at watch the nose of the especially the GT3 Cup cars, as they like to have a little bit of lift through that turn 6 right there. That's why we call it the Monroe Ridge, as the second wave is underway. Osei Abiaghi looks like he got a decent sized jump on a couple of cars, but either way, James Williams falling back through the field. Not sure what happened there. And Nathan Johnson, no surprise here. He is commanding lead about 3 to 4 car lengths. Anna Predescu closing in on Garrett Wessling. That's for fourth place overall and in class, as they work their way around turn number 1 once again. So far, so good. Again, a little windy here as you see that camera rocking just a little bit, but we'll see if Johnson can keep this lead. Of course, he's got to work his way through traffic, but really looking pretty good as they come around turn number 3, I should say. Now up and over turn number 4. I saw a battle near the back of the pack, and that looked like that involved Boyce. No, not Boyce. A couple of cars back there. I think there were a couple of white GT3s, but there's Roland. There's Gildersleeve, Mike Williams not too far in Gildersleeve, also basically tight in the pack. Here is Anna Predescu closing in on Garrett Wessling as they work their way heading into turn number 9. Usually Anna is pretty good about the second race, really saving her equipment during race 1 to be able to battle for race number 2. As you see behind them as well, Olbers, Benatti, and Boyce all within striking distance as well for that 6th place. But Predescu slowing down just a little bit. No harm, no foul. As Thomas Stone also closing in on that Benatti Olbers Boyce battle. But looks like Monsalve's finally found that other gear as he gets the fastest lap, but nips Johnson at the line for just a couple of hundredths of a second, 400ths of a second, I should say, faster than Johnson. 400ths is, ifs and buts or candy's nuts. We'd all take a ride as they work their way around turn number 4 once again. And Benatti opens up a little bit bigger gap over Olbers and Boyce. So he's letting those guys go ahead. You take a look at the gap, though. It's kind of remained steady between Johnson and Monsalve as they kind of trade blows when it comes to fastest lap of the race. And, of course, you see that Selby's broken away just a little bit as he tries to reel in at least Monsalve at this point as you're on board with your leader right now. It's a much different view than what we saw last time when we were able to hop on board the onboard camera. And coming around turn number 9, look at how steady those hands are as he works his way off of turn number 9. I want to hang in turn 1 because if we go through turn 1, let's see how his hands are. If they're steady, it's obviously very bumpy. And I know they're talking about possibly doing some sort of improvements here to the big track at Willow Springs. They've done a lot of improvements to the streets of Willow Springs with paved runoff in certain areas. And I think that this is next on the radar. So it'll be interesting when we go back to end the season here, how that will look as you see how good Johnson has been nice and tight. Yeah, looking really good through turn number 4. And looking at that steering wheel, it looks like the only thing that he's cut off of that is the top. So a very strange and I would say almost unconventional wheel as you're on board with Brett Gaviglio, your points leader right now in GT3. Let's see where he's at right now as he is running down Paul Wren, and that is for the class lead. You take a look at the gap, and it has changed, to say the least, as Sulzer has lost some ground there. But here's the thing. Gaviglio's 2 seconds behind Wren. He's running about a second faster than Paul Wren at this time, as we got a couple cars off back there in turn number 5. One of those, it looks like Olbers could be Boyce, and if we get the camera downhill, we see at least one of them, so that's a bad problem. Yeah, indeed. So that was the Olbers-Boyce battle that we saw earlier on. Boyce is able to get by right now, but Olbers trying to see, was that the Boyce Stone battle? I think it was a Boyce Stone battle. Either way, everybody able to get their way around, and we have one of the cars that was involved. Yes, that was the Stone Boyce battle, as both of those drivers are waiting to get going. So one of them's waiting to get going, and that is Thomas Stone. Blair Boyce, Thomas Stone has gotten going, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens here if we have another stoppage of the race. And there's your leaders right there. They're putting the 80 one lap down, but that is a very sketchy place for the 80 to be. Of course, you see the corner worker there at turn number 4 trying to get a waving yellow out there and really show the drivers that that is not a place where you really want to be full bore, because that is such a dangerous place right now for that driver to be. And we're waiting on word on if Boyce is going to be able to get going, but we might have to go full course yellow for that, for the retrieval of the number 80 of Blair Boyce. Of course, Boyce was in contention there for position, as now you see Nathan Johnson start to put drivers one lap down, as Wessling holding and the Predescu as she's fallen back just a little bit as well. So Abin Benade closing in on that 5th spot as well. We are full course yellow. Full course yellow for the stop car there in turn number 5. Not sure what happened with the contact, but and now I think that, yep, we get the full course yellow out there. Better be safe than sorry, as Blair Boyce now gets his number 80 righted, and he is back underway. So there's your leader right there. And of course, now that we're full course yellow, there's going to be a lap car between the leader and second place. So while this could have been great for Monsalve, it ends up being not so good, as we will see Johnson slow down. And now they brought the full course yellow flags back in. So we're back underway for racing. And honestly, you have no problem with that. That is absolutely fantastic. That, you know what, the incident's clear. We don't need to pack up. Bring the flags back in, and we're back underway. So great handling by the Porsche Owners Club. And yeah, there's the green flag as we are back underway for racing. 7 laps to go. And here comes Abin Benade. You've got the battle for position back there with Wessling, and here comes Benade trying to look to the inside of Predescu. Predescu with a top 5 finish so far, as Benade is going to look to the inside. Predescu is going to shut the door on him as they head into the right-handed sweeper of turn number 2. Through 2 they come. Still looking nice and tight. Predescu is now closing in on Wessling. Remember, Otto was having problems trying to keep up with everybody through there, but I think this lap car here is gonna be helpful for Anna, and that is, remember, that's Jim Steedman in the 14 Navicon 1979 911 as they're single file heading into turn number 6. Turn 5 now through turn number 6. A little wide there, but smart move by Steedman to get out of the way of this battle. And of course, Predescu now closing in on Wessling. Let's see if she makes a move here in turn number 8. I don't think she's close enough. Neither is Benade as they work their way around turn number 8. Now heading into turn number 9. This is a good place for her to close in on Wessling as you see them come from right to left as they come now single file, and Anna, she's really looking like she wants to make a move. So we go back over to turn one. I'm interested to see how this move works out. There's there's Selby as here comes Monsalve. I want to hang here because I want to see if Wessling, Prodescu is still hanging tight. So I'm hearing also that the 70 is also caught up to the 787 of Paul Wren. So we'll try and get some on board for that. But look at how tight that is through turn number two. Anna's making a good show of this coming out of turn number two. She's catching up to Wessling, who's right now in fourth place as she looks to the outside heading into turn number three. Does she make the move happen? No, she doesn't. She thinks better of it as it's a great attempt at trying to get up one spot because she's got Benade breathing down her neck for that fifth spot. And this is, look at these three. Of course, they're going to be coming up on some slower traffic in just a little bit as well. So we'll see how that works out. Rich Gildersleeve in the Spec 986 class running a little slower than what we're used to. I'm sorry, the 982 class, as he is 19th overall. It looks like he had some sort of off. Oh, Anna's all over that rear wing of Wessling coming down through turn number 8. Now across turn number 9, they'll come here shortly. And there's Wessling that's going to come into play. He might just go high, wide, and handsome and let the rest of these through, especially down into turn number 1, as it's going to really come really darn close. I think Anna might have a run here coming down the front straightaway, and so will Benade. But Benade's going to have a run even if Anna doesn't. Here comes Anna to the inside. Wessling shuts the door on her, and they go back to the outside. Gildersleeve, though, he is the fly in the ointment. Coming around turn 2, here comes Anna once again, as she's not only got to attack, she's got to defend the unenvious position of that. And now one car's going around Gildersleeve. Let's see if Anna can get around Gildersleeve as well and kind of use him as a block. But no, Gildersleeve's going to let off the throttle a little bit and let Benade and Prodescu around, but that gives Wessling a chance to gap those two as they work their way around turn number 4. This is also almost like the battle for the lead last time out at Chuckwalla, but a little bit different because this is actually just a battle for positioning for a little bit further back, as you see Anna getting ever so closer to Wessling. Such a good attack and such good work that the 100 Liqui Porsche is doing here. And you see Eben Benade also doing his best to try and keep up with them. The two-time POC GT3 champion, looking pretty good. Of course, he's also a pro cyclist in his early days, so this is almost like a peloton to him as Wessling takes a defensive line and tries to open up a gap. He does a little bit. There's just a little bit of a gap there. As Gaviglio's fallen back a little bit. We'll try and find out what's going on with the 70 of Brett Gaviglio, but he's right now 3rd in the GT3 class. It's quite interesting. And Osei Abiaghi has made his way to the top of the GT2 classes. He's looking for a sweep here at Willow Springs, and Benade trying to throw his car anywhere he can to try his best to get up there and at least make a move. But I'll say this, Prodescu in the top 5 position, but is not satisfied with that, and I can't say as I blame her, as she gets a good run on Wessling. Coming up off Monroe Ridge, that run might be staved off by Wessling, and indeed it is as they make their way through turn number 8. Coming down around 8 and into turn number 9. So something definitely happened there with Gaviglio off or something. You see the time difference from lap 4 to lap 5, and that's about several seconds, indicative of a spin or something there. Something you rarely see out of the number 70 EACR DBTW 2003 Porsche Cup car. On to the onboard with Gaviglio. And he's caught up to Salzer once again. It was about a 2-second gap. Now it's about not too bad of a gap as he looks to the inside of Salzer. Of course, you see up there as well. That is Paul Wren. So really the battle for the podium is going to be really heated up between these 3 drivers to see where they're going to be as they work their way through turn 4 and now into turn 5. course, I've got one eye on that. I've got one eye on timing. Watch, a little bit of a wiggle there, but watching for this Wesseling Prodescu battle is 900ths of a second, almost a tenth of a second, separating the 722 and the 100 last time by. And Gaviglio shows himself going into turn number 8, not going to make anything happen through there. A little short straightaway, but really it's more of a curve heading into turn 9, and he's going to poke his nose to the inside of Sulzer, side by side, a little bit of a nose out front. The 10 hands so far as they come off of turn number 9. You're watching the cameras there, and of course right there, going to make it 3 wide down the straightaway. Monsalve is going to lap both of those drivers, as you saw Nathan Johnson put this GT3 battle 1 lap down. So now while that is over, they work their way around turn number 1 and then through turn number 2. I think with this camera shot at some point, we're going to see the Wesseling Prodescu battle, as they are not too far away from there, because there right there is Dwayne Selby. Then you got to wait another 5 seconds until you get back to the Wesseling battle. That battle's really closing in. Another car that's 1 lap down will be to play here. So we'll see if Wesseling can use that car as a pick again, or if Prodescu does what I think she's going to do. She's going to look to the outside, but tuck right back in, heading into there. And if I'm Prodescu, I'm making the move before Wesseling decides to make that move. That 5-6 complex, while it is challenging, still can make that move. As they come downhill through turn, they'll go up the ridge in turn number 6, and they will get around some of that slower car. And yeah, these battles, they're going to quickly run out of time. So if I'm Prodescu, I'm making my move, and I'm making my move soon for position. Of course, this time it does not seem like that there's too much traffic between Johnson and Monsalve. I said that before, but hey, we'll see what happens. White flag is out. 1 more lap for Nathan Johnson as he tries to right the wrong that happened last time by. Here comes Gaviglio around Sulzer, and indeed he's going to go to the inside, and I think he's going to get that second place, and indeed he does, but he might be too far away from Paul Wren to make anything happen for position, unless something happens to Wren here in these next couple of corners. So somebody might be able to slay the dragon that is in GT3. We'll find out here in just a little bit. However, we're still watching the Prodescu Wesseling battle as they are working their way around the corner. It's not as tight as we saw last time by, but 1 more lap car may have something to say here in these closing final corners, the last race of the weekend here at Willow Springs. You see Gaviglio open up a sizable gap to Sulzer, and now here comes Anna. She closes in on Wesseling once again, coming around turn 5, now through turn 6, as there is indeed a slower car up ahead. Will that have anything to do with it? I highly doubt it, but you never know. Stranger things have happened in motorsports. They're going to catch around turn 8 as Wesseling dives to the inside, and no, that lap car is going to shut the door on him. The battle's going to go to turn 9. Checker flag is out. Nathan Johnson wins over Mike Monsalve. Dwayne Selby sits there in 3rd place, but we're watching this battle for position between Wesseling and Prodescu. As they come around, it's going to be Wesseling who gets around the lap car, plays block to Prodescu. Here comes Benade across the line, and he's going to be ahead of Prodescu by 0.006 seconds.